and write the homework. Oh my gosh, well, that didn't happen. That's all I've been doing for how many hours has it been?
Oh, he does. Okay. Coming right up. One thing that Zoom does now is it enables you to forward the panelists the link again and again immediately. There we go.
There he is.
There he is.
Hola.
Hey.
Hola. Are
Yay.
you eating pizza too?
I'm chewing gum to get rid of the popcorn in my mouth.
Ah.
Does that work? That's a pretty cool trick.
Hey, Dr. Kramer, you up, right?
Yes, I was just chewing popcorn to get rid of the gum in my mouth.
Dangerous combination.
Mm.
Okay, you guys actually ready?
Yeah, Geshe, do you want me to announce what we discussed about that extra step of homework for the
Yeah.
mixed nuts?
Yeah, you're the boss. Just go for it.
All right, I'm going for it. Are all the nuts here? I hope so. I'm just taking a quick look. Nope. Well, maybe let's wait till the end of class.
You want to wait till the end of class?
Yeah, I just want to make sure everybody's here to hear it.
Okay.
Give them a few minutes to log in.
I heard Adam might be ill. There's been some.
Okay. In that case, I'll announce it now and then I'll just send him a message.
Okay, go for it.
So Geshe Michael wants to make sure that we are learning how to translate. So he had some idea that we can do a little bit more homework. And us mixed nuts, okay? And all the rest of you are welcome to take a shot at this too, but it definitely, this idea specifically pertains to us. Each time when we finish our class, we make a quiz of what we've done, of what we just covered in the previous class. Everybody's been doing that for many terms. For this term, something that we're adding to our workload is just to translate, to do a polished translation, our version of a polished translation of the next passage, maybe even just a sentence of our stuff that we did not cover yet with Geshe Michael. So, us mixed nerds are going to take our best shot at translating the next passage that's coming in our text without him having covered it at all. And then he'll go over it with us in the beginning of the next class and, tear it apart and shred our precious little egos in front of 200 people.
Yay. So how do we submit these so-called polished drafts?
It's a good question. Like,
You don't have to submit them. You can just have them ready when we start the class.
Yeah, we thought you could put them on, sorry, Nick, on the end of your homework. So do your homework, and at the end of your homework, have a little page or something while you're in the midst of sharing a screen anyway.
I see. Yeah.
And just, pop up with what you've got to show the boss.
Yep.
That's good.
That'll
be
good.
Fun, and I think it'll help. I think it'll help a lot.
It's fun. I'm excited about it and nervous about it, but mostly delighted and grateful that you're going to take the time to do it.
So in Seiji's case, that doesn't mean you can just do the section that Geshe Michael already translated in ACI 14. You got to jump over those lines and do the next part. Sorry, Seiji. I know your translation of that would have been very poetic. And then, we can look at it case by case. Like, we'll see at the end of our class what's coming up. And if it's a massive paragraph, then we can, say, hey, Geshe Michael, can we just do the first part of this, can we break this somewhere reasonable? Or if we feel confident, we'll just go for it. And if that doesn't make sense, then, talk to me, write me a message or something, and we'll discuss. All right. Sorry to take time from your class, Ben.
No, I'm happy. You ready? Okay, let's get going. Let's share the screen here. Okay, here's where Dr. Kramer's at. His whole book is 4,000 pages in English. Or you could call it 4,500 pages if you add the Sanskrit. The first chapter, I think, should take 3 books. And that's going to be about 15 years of classes. I think we can do 10 years of classes, honestly. And we could get each book done in 3 years or something like that. You guys are speeding up noticeably. So I think it's not crazy. It's not insane. Originally it was 51 years, but I think we can get it down to 50. Just kidding. But it's worth it. And I think we'll get used to it and it'll speed up. So don't stress about it. If the author could write it under the difficult circumstances he wrote it under, we can translate it, right? It didn't take him 50 years to write, it took him about 20 years. So, and again, I had the honor of working with him before he passed away on printing this 2 volumes. And so anyway, yeah, you have to decide on a name for the book, Ben, so we can make a temporary cover page. All right, now the fun news is that I found a nice, I've been working on finding a decent biography of Dharmakirti, Master Dharmakirti. And so we have a decent biography by Bhutan Rinpoche, who put together the Kangyur and the Tengyur. And he also, he kind of sounds like he's refusing to do a biography of Master Dharmakirti without a biography of his teacher, Dignaga, okay? So we're gonna have fun today and we're gonna do the biography of Dignaga. And we might be able to get through it, I think. It's not very long. These ancient biographies are not very long. And, people write doctoral theses about these guys, but they don't know much more than what's here. And why would they? So, you can read all kinds of things, but in the end, we only have a few biographies of these ancient masters. And I like this one of Master Dignaga. Okay, so basically considered by the lineage to be Dharmakirti's teacher. So I don't think we did this yet, Ben, right? If I'm not mistaken.
We did not.
Okay. So let's read this first paragraph here.
Okay. Yignan.
And Tim is correcting me.
Good. Debikyan.
Yeah, come on, Dan.
Good, thank you. Thanks for being there when I needed you. Yignan yi lobma tsema rangwe kepa pelden choki langpo ni rikchamse la nema bupe de pe kempo shikle rabtu jungte dra la sokpa tanye ki tsuklak la lekpar jangte.
Great job.
Thanks.
Okay, good.
Cool.
What's Yignan?
Master Vasubandhu.
Yeah, nice. So this biography by Bhutan Rinpoche, who, nobody knows better than him because he put together 5,000 books from ancient India. So nobody knows the Indians better than him. He says he was the Logma of Yignan.
Oh, who says he was the Lopma Yignan? Dignaga was.
Bhutan says that Dignaga was the student of Vasubandhu, direct student. Okay.
Okay,
Okay.
cool.
And some Western scholar will say that timing doesn't work out, but anyway. Now I'm going to give you a clue, and I'm going to see if you can figure this out.
Okay.
This instrumental is comparative.
Okay. Oh, let's see.
And Toki Lambo is Dignaga. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Oh, I guess, did Yignan also have a work on Sema?
I think he's
Oh,
saying
yeah.
that Master Dignaga was more learned in the subject of Tsema than Yiknyan, the Master
Yeah.
Vasubandhu.
That's correct. Nick is correct. I mean, Ben's probably just hesitant to say it because it's weird. Okay. But he's saying Rang Wei Kepa means smarter than he was, or more of a master than he was about Buddhist logic and perceptual theory. Okay. I don't like to call it logic because nowadays I like to call it clear thinking. But logic is just so dry. So, okay, it's like saying morality instead of ethics. Okay, so Sema Rangna Kepa. So he was more well versed in pramana than his teacher. Okay,
Cool.
and that's the glorious Choki Longbo. Okay.
Yeah.
Did I tell you? Oh, so I had a breakthrough with Choki Longbo a couple 10 years ago. Longbo means elephant. Chok means dig, which means direction, and it's all related to Desha, for example, and and dictator, who directs people with their finger. So dick, the root dick means to direct, and it also digital comes from that because it became fingers, which is what you use to dig people to say go in this direction. And then Naga, should mean some kind of dragon or something. But here it says elephant. And there's a reference in Monier Williams that elephants can be called Nagas.
Oh, because of the trunk, huh?
Maybe in special circumstances when they're talking about the 8 great elephants of the directions. So there's this thing called the 8 elephants of the directions, like north, south, west, and then northwest. And those are called the eight great elephants. And cool. That's the Naga. Okay, that's the 8 Nagas. So they are called Nagas when they are the guardians of the 8 directions. So cool. So really,
it's like Hasti, right, in Sanskrit, like the guy with the hand is an elephant. Exactly. Maybe.
Yeah, maybe it comes from that.
Got like a Naga-shaped trunk.
And we're going to learn more about his name later. But so far, what we know is, literally, he's the elephant of the directions. Now, why he got that name, you're going to find out in your biography.
Oh, good.
Okay.
Now, so he was a Brahmin.
And then the line more of a stop. Okay, he was a Dhamse, period.
Right.
Then he dropped to June.
Right. He was a Brahmin, but then he left the home life, as it were. He became a monk.
He took ordination, Buddhist ordination.
Yeah.
From a Kembo.
From a master who was a member of the Vatsiputrian sect.
Hey, this Kembo means his vow master. Okay, so his vow pastor was one of the Vatsi, and I went and got a book from this guy named Kramer.
Don't trust him.
Which tells us about this Buddhist group. And they're exceptional because they're famous because they almost accept the self. Mm-hmm. Okay, so they're always criticized. And here's the selection from Ben's first book, which we are working on soon to get it up to printing stage. And these are all the ancient schools of Buddhism. And there's the Vatsiputriya spin. Do you remember why they're called Vatsiputriya spin? I don't remember.
No.
Maybe that was their teacher's name or something.
Yeah, I think that's right. Yeah.
Anyway,
Yep.
I think so.
I think you're right.
So anyway, he was a Brahmin, but he got ordained as a Buddhist monk from a vow master who was a Vatsiputriya. Okay.
Mhm.
And then he studied Chang. You're gonna see some ancient wording in Bhutan Rinpoche. He's just before Tsongkhapa. Tsongkhapa just missed him, and he was always sorry for it. He went to meet him. He was gone. He was passed already, and he's buried himself in his papers for I don't know how long. Suklak, you guys know Sulakang, I think.
Temple.
Ancient text, Suklak?
Yeah, Sulakang means a temple. And there's a famous Sulakang in India, for example. But Suklak means it's an ancient word for pustaka, which is a scripture, a book. So Suklak Kang, which nowadays means temple, used to mean library.
Mhm.
Okay, so Jungte, Kala Sopa Tanya Kitsugla. Then he started to study. Tanya here means secular. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He started studying the secular classics, such as
Ga, sound, shabda.
Sanskrit.
Sanskrit.
which means Sanskrit in this context. Yeah, Shabda. He started to study Shabda.
Mhm.
But I guess the emphasis so far is that he was studying the secular topics and not the religious topics. Okay. Now we'll skip this part from. He said his best translation about that Buddhist school. And we reach, this is a cute story. Okay, go ahead. And next gonna correct your pronunciation. Yay.
Kembo la pongwa tsam tengi mengak shube pongpo le te ni dang shen tu jutume pe dak gom shik sung ne gom pe dak manye ne chinangi tipe tip sanyam ne chok shir mar me chembo par lu cher pur chung mik te de chok chur dak tsel yang ma nieto.
Okay, cool. Then his Kembo, meaning his vow master,
Okay.
he said, can you teach me a little bit? Can you give me advices, Mengon? Sometimes Pongwa sometimes means like meditation retreat, like going Pongwa, giving up the world and going into a meditation retreat, you know. So he said, can you give me some serious meditation instructions for like long-term meditation? Shuba means what?
He asked him.
Yeah, he requested. He said, can you give me some? And here's his master's reply. Dak meba gom, shik. Dak meba gom shik.
You have to meditate on a self.
No self.
Yeah, I want you to meditate on no self nature. Okay, I want you to meditate on no self nature. What kind of self nature? Where the self either blank or blank. Where the self is either blank or
it is either the heaps or something different from them.
good. And this Dainin doesn't mean emptiness. It means those heaps themselves. Okay.
Or it's Shendu.
Yeah. Are you your body and mind? Or are you different from your body and mind? That's what I want you to do. So he asked his teacher, give me some meditation, long-term meditation practice.
And these guys are like the Judomapists anyway.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So it's pretty cool that the books agree that a guy from the Vatsiputriya school accepts something that's sort of like a self, but it's Judomepa. It's beyond all description.
Yeah, which is suspicious because this teacher is supposed to be somebody who doesn't quite get it. But But he's like, okay, well, you decide whether you are your body and mind or you are separate from your body and mind. And Venerable Utpala's text has many beautiful analyses of that. Gomshik is the imperative tense. You can't, that's what I want you to meditate about.
So is he
So-
saying
and-
or Judomepa, or is he saying the lack of a self, which is Judomepa, because it's neither of these?
Yeah, I want you to meditate on what cannot be described or your body and mind or not your body and mind.
Okay.
I
Okay.
want you to meditate on this indescribable nature where you are not your body and mind and you're not separate from your body and mind.
Great.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if that's all the instructions you got, man, good luck, right? Then he go past
went-
10.
He meditated.
And Doc Manier.
He didn't find himself.
He couldn't locate himself. He
Yeah.
couldn't find the me. He couldn't find the me. And then he got this nyam. Okay, nyam in this spelling means he's thinking, okay? But it's related to another nyam, which means he was thinking and getting this mental feeling like jippe dip. Though just covered by clouds or in the shadows. Both chi and nung in.
Inner and outer.
Yeah. So the outside world was getting darker, and then inside he felt like it's darker. He felt like he was in the shadows, and so described also in whose book I was working on recently. I think it was Venerable Post book. It's this. Oh no, yeah, it's a reaction you get in meditation when you're meditating slightly wrong, and it feels like you're blacking out, and the whole world is blacking out. Okay. So he started to go into this darkness, inner and outer darkness. Jip means shadows, okay? Jip, shadowed by shadows, okay? Sam means, I wonder if it's that, like it felt like that, okay? And then he went and he barred a marme.
He used a butter lamp.
He lit a butter lamp. This bar means the
Like
light
took
on fire. Yeah, exactly. Except
big-
this is the Chepapolosa Yupa, right? Transitive. So he lit a big butter lamp, and he started walking around in the chokshi.
In the four directions?
Yeah, he went that way with the butter lamp because it was getting dark, and then he ran around and went the other way, and he just started running around with this big butter lamp. Okay, because he felt like the whole world was going. Then he tuned his clothing.
He did them.
Yeah, he took off his clothes, and then he was cherbu, means you had jerbupas, jeans.
He was naked.
Yeah, he's running around naked with a butter lamp, looking for the self. Okay, I've seen this happen. You don't know. It's kind of a difficult situation when the student does it.
Yeah, I kind of do know.
So yeah, he was running around naked with a butter lamp, and it felt like the whole world was going dark on him because he couldn't find himself. Okay? Then Mick J means to open your eyes wide open, like staring, looking for something. Okay, with wide open eyes. Okay, he'd sell the dark.
Oh, he found it? What?
No, tell means chak sell.
Oh, sorry. He's sought it.
Yeah, he sought the dark in the chok chu.
Oh, in the 10 directions.
Yeah, everywhere. He ran around probably his teacher's, neighborhood naked with a lamp, looking for the self during the day, right? And embarrassed his teacher greatly, which happens. And Manier,
Yeah, he still didn't find it.
he didn't find anything. Okay. cute story, and it happens. Come on. Okay, go ahead. Tim, you're still checking, okay? Date say.
Detse chulam de tar jepa toki tongne kembo la shune kempe kye chi chir de tar je jipe dak holo she so.
Okay. You know Chulam nouns are number 11, I guess,
Yeah, yoga
the
everyday life.
of everyday life, right? So this means normal comportment, the way he's acting all day long. Deta Cheba, he was doing that kind of Chulam, and his Tropo saw it.
Friends.
Okay, yeah,
His fellow students saw him running around naked with this light. Can you imagine in the day, and somebody's out running around naked in Sedona and embarrassing everybody, okay?
I'm sorry.
And they camouflage you.
Chulam here is specifically that he's still doing this in the day.
Yeah, his strange behavior. It doesn't specify day or night, but
Okay,
the point is, during the day, he felt like everything was going dark on him. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. Actually, he was exploring his own ignorance. During broad daylight, he felt like everything was going dark.
So they'd say Chulam just means like, at the time he was doing all that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
At that time, he was acting like that.
Yeah.
And his strokes saw it.
Yeah.
And they reported it to Kimball.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Then the Kimball said,
Why?
Right.
Why are you
like
behaving that way? Yeah.
Chiba means question, right? Question him.
Yeah.
Then he replied, hey, Dr. Low.
I'm looking for the doc, man. Trying to find the belt, man.
You told me to try to find a me who was my body and mind, or who wasn't my body and mind. And I'm just doing what you asked me to do. Okay. That's the kind of answer you get, by the way, from these kind of students. Okay. Keep reading. And who we got up there? Let me see. Utpala, can you check his pronunciation?
Oh, yes, please.
So, gang, I'm good to you because you're so good at it. But, right.
Kyorangi Drupta Sun Jimpar Dukpe Song Shik Serwa Tang Kempo Deni Du Rikpe Sun Chung Nu Meki Yino Nyamte Rimki.
I want you to stop there. I want you there. Yeah, let's cut it. Sometimes a sentence is too long to be translated comfortably into English, and it should be broken into two.
Right.
Okay. You are jimbaing our own Dupta.
You're ripping up our own philosophical system.
Exactly. Yeah, you're embarrassing us. You're tearing up our system. Okay.
Yeah.
Then he said, Songshik. Songshik.
Stop that.
No, Song. Go.
Go away.
Get out of here.
Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Songshik. Okay. He said, this Sarwa doesn't mean claim, right? It's just reporting. He said, get your ass out of this school. Go somewhere else. Okay. And now here's a very delicate point. Dignaga Rikpa, that he could have Nipa, Sun Nyumba, his Kimball.
He logicked out that he could have.
Yeah. Exactly.
Sun Yung knew that he.
Yeah, this is future tense of Sun Jin.
Oh, he logicked out what, that he could embarrass his teacher, or
yeah, he could have destroyed his teacher right then and there. Denidu means right then and there.
Yeah.
In that moment, he could have destroyed his Nema Bupa teacher's views about the self.
Oh.
Okay. He saw it. Ki, but it wasn't Upa.
It wasn't
And
worth
this is Yeah, this is the arch in Archat. Yeah, arch. It wasn't the right thing to do with your teacher.
Wow.
See what I mean? It was not appropriate to do with your teacher. Even if your teacher has a wrong view about the emptiness, it's not appropriate to out logic them in front of everybody else. Okay.
Okay.
So he nyam it, okay,
Uh-huh.
and then he ripped he chun.
He
Jun is the same as pep.
okay.
Yeah.
He gradually left.
He walked
What-
away.
Yeah, he packed up, he got his stuff together, he said goodbye to everybody, and he took,
Kinda like
you know, it took a
set
couple
up,
of days. And
set about the process of taking his leave.
yeah, but he ended up at Lopanignan.
Oh, super! At Vasubandhu's house.
Yeah, and I think this Chen used to be Tsana.
Used to
I
be.
think it was, if you think
Oh.
about, I think it used, this Chen, I think it used to be Tsana. And you can check some old carvings, but
Oh,
that
cool.
would mean, Chen means he went to Vasubandhu. Okay, Tsana means to the place where Vasubandhu was. Okay, I
Yeah.
think it's a carving error, an ancient carving error. Okay, he went to, yeah.
In the previous section, was it that he could destroy his teacher with logic?
Yeah.
Here it says logic, yeah, with
Mhm.
logic.
Yeah.
He could have proved his teacher wrong.
Uh-huh.
He could have proved what his teacher taught him was wrong. And it happens when you change religions, really. You know, you could go to the Christian church or whatever and prove that future lives exist, but it's not appropriate, you know. You should just quietly go find a nice Buddhist teacher, you know.
So if I can check in, Geshe, with what we've done so far, this really does hinge on this Nemabupa idea of an indescribable self, right? Like that is the idea then is his teacher tells him to go find the indescribable self. He's looking and looking and looking, and he doesn't find any such thing, comes to the conclusion that, look how hard I've looked, surely I would have found it, and I should be able to demonstrate here and now that the thing that you're talking about is nonsense, but I respect my teacher, so I'm going to take my leave and go on to the teacher I can work with. Okay, cool. Wow.
By the way, if I'm Ben Kramer and I just spent 4 years translating a book that includes Nemabupas,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to have a long footnote referring to my brilliant book, you know.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of doing different books, you know. Yeah, so he reached Jun, he got to Vasubandhu, and he tekbasum la kepajam.
And Geshe, it brings up another issue
Okay.
in general that I think we could use your guidance on, which is, do we want to develop a vernacular in our footnotes for how we refer to a mixed nuts standard for how we reference other books in the mixed nuts series in a footnote?
What I usually do, and because it's come up a few times, and anytime I get a chance to cross-reference books, I do it.
Yeah.
And I will say, there's a good explanation of this, and I will give the folio number. Why?
So they can find the original.
Nope.
Oh,
So that we can later put in the page number when the book's done.
Look, page numbers will change in the next 100 years.
okay, right.
You know, people will they'll print your books in many different formats, you know, but the folio number is not going to change. So I'll say, go see Nick Lashaw's book, folio such and such, which we always leave in the book, right? And it's a brilliant way to deal with the page numbers are going to change in your books every time they're published. So I'll say,
What about section numbers, Geshe?
well, those are going to change too, I think, and not as
Really?
frequently, but you know, the folio number is never going to change. So, you know, every time we add a little text by Nagarjuna, for example, it's going to mess up the section. I don't know. So anyway, that's how I do it, Ben. And I always mention, which is also translated in this Diamond Cutter Classics. You know,
Yeah.
in a little advertisement. And I think all of you should advertise each other's books, just as a brotherhood thing, sisterhood thing.
Right.
Okay. Okay. So he Jung, and he became a Kepa in Tepasu.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he left and he became a master of the three tekpas.
Yeah. Now, when you see three Tekpas, you have two choices. There's
Yeah.
two options. What are they?
Either
It could mean
it could mean Hinayana, Mahayana, and Vajrayana, even though Vajrayana belongs to Mahayana.
good. Good point.
But
Or-
it might mean the way of the listeners, the way of the self-made Buddhas, and the way of the Bodhisattvas.
Yeah. And then you got to make a judgment call. If you think it's not possible to determine it, you can say in your footnote, you could say it could be either. Okay.
Yeah.
I would guess, my feeling is I think Vasubandhu would have taught him some Tantra also. But I don't know. Let's see if it becomes clear later.
Okay.
If he wrote in the Vajrayana text. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And from Vasubandhu, he learned the Jupta of the Namrikpas.
Oh, cool. Yeah, he learned the philosophical system of the Vijnanavadins.
Which is the
Well, you wrote mentalist here, so I'm not, but it's roughly
mind only. Okay. So he became a master of the mind only school, which is interesting to know about Dignaga. You see,
Right.
he's the teacher of Dharmakirti. And to say that he was a master of mind only has a lot of implications. And because Dharmakirti is supposed to be second school, right? But his mother was a mind only master. And he became a master of Sema.
Accurate perception.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so gang, here you go. Find something wrong with this pronunciation, please.
Yes,
Earn
sir.
your pay. Earn your pay. Okay, here we go.
Bene lopangi, drowa namgi, dungelgi, kyu yang dakpe, dun marik pa yimbe, de bangwei chirtang, nyembo shirab kiepe, chirduk hindrelpatang, yunten taye par, tsupe drel.
Tippy.
Drelpatang, Mikpa Takpa La Sokpa Tenche Torpua, Torpua, Getsa Samso.
Yeah.
Gyatsa Samso.
Nice, thanks to gang.
Well done.
You're like the only person who's correcting him. Okay. Then by the way, this Lopan is not Yimyan. It's Choklang. Okay.
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 Now the master. In fact, I'm going to put a note there. Refers to the he decided that he decided to help Droas,
Beings
Bangwa,
get rid of
Marikpa,
ignorance.
because it was what is the cue for doing it.
It's the cause of suffering.
Yeah, good. Okay. So he said the pure, not understanding Yan Takbeitan, which means Tenyi. Okay.
Oh, I'm
So-
sorry, not understanding young Dokpe Din, the true cause of.
Yeah, the pure object of the universe. which is emptiness. Okay, it's just a synonym for emptiness. Okay,
Oh, young Dr. Tin.
he perceived that
Oh,
that misunderstanding, emptiness, was the reason why everyone in the world was suffering. Therefore,
kind of like what it means to be correct, right? Like because they didn't understand
means
what it means to be correct.
well, it means that one pure object or something like that. Okay,
Okay.
that one
Okay.
pure object. Okay, so to pangba that marikpa,
Okay. To get rid of that ignorance, to remove it.
he wrote about Gya down here, books.
Oh, yeah. Eight of them.
Not gay.
100
Yeah,
books.
yeah. He wrote like 100 texts.
Oh,
Okay.
oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And
Okay.
now they give you a few names. Okay, here's a few names. Okay, in order to get rid of that misunderstanding, and on the if you want to say it the opposite way, in order to ke in all of those drawas, there's shidam.
In order to bring about wisdom in all of
Yeah.
those beings.
So it could be a nyambo for their marikpa.
A nyembo for their murder, an antidote for their
That's an
ignorance.
antidote for that marikpa, which is giving them all the pain.
Yeah.
So now we get the name of the book. He wrote a jalpa to the Z, right, Stanley?
Yeah.
I woke up Stanley. Look.
He wrote a commentary to Stanley's book, the Abhidharma Kosha, by his
He wrote
teacher.
a book. He wrote a commentary on the Kosha.
Yeah.
He also wrote a commentary to the Yenten Tai Yepratupa, the praise of the Buddha because he has infinite good qualities. Okay, so that's some kind of sutra, and he wrote a commentary to it. Okay, but most importantly, he wrote Mikpatakpa.
Mikpatakpa.
So Takpa means an examination
Okay.
of mikpas.
Of objects, seeing?
Yeah. And I went and studied the question because I wasn't sure which mikvah he was talking about.
Yeah.
And it is correct that the title is an examination of the objects of perception. Yeah.
Neat.
Okay. Etc. He wrote dentures.
Okay. Classical texts up on those.
Yeah. Torpua means a whole range, like an incredible potpourri. It means potpourri exactly.
Yeah.
Okay. Potpourri. He wrote a whole chocolate box selection of shastras. Okay. Shastras. Sorry. Some means he composed, right?
Yeah.
Gata means literally a collection of 100. For example, you guys in ACI course 14, all of those books came from Lojong Gyatso.
Okay.
And it's just another way to say a compendium. Okay. It doesn't mean exactly 100. Okay.
Okay.
It just means a lot. Okay. So he wrote a big collection of books, and there's 3 of them. Okay.
Great.
Yay. I went and looked up how the praise starts. It's who he's praising, and it was the Buddha. Okay, Tamje Kemba. I wanted to see what's the Mikpa and Mikpa Takpa. And, here's Gungtang says it's all objects, okay?
Okay.
Sungdun, objects of perception. And by the way, his Mikpa Takpa, which is a seminal work, is extremely short. So it really is a torpua. Torpua sometimes means might. Not miscellaneous, but smaller, shorter works. Sometimes more important, but shorter. Okay. So you got to be careful. Don't do this scholarly people's thing where they say it's a miscellaneous work when it's one of the most important books in history. Okay.
Okay, so
by the way,
also has an implication of it being a smaller work?
It's always shorter, often shorter.
Okay.
But Sung Torbua, like for Tsongkhapa, I think it's 157 works.
Mhm.
And one of them is Lamsum Namsum, which is one of the most important books ever written. So just because they're short, they shouldn't be translated as miscellaneous.
So do we have a bunch of little baby Dignaga works hunked together somewhere in the Tengyur?
Hey, just ask and you shall receive. Here it is.
Oh, cool.
Okay. I went and got you some of his books. Okay.
You're hired.
So here's his commentary to the Dhammakosha. Okay. Here's his commentary to the endless good qualities. Oh, sorry, there's the original. Okay. And
Oh, okay, and then the commentary.
it's a 10-year work, by the way. It's not a sutra. Then here's his commentary to that.
Okay,
So these are all going to be in your footnote.
for sure. Now this is
Another work.
Now, boss, this will
These
be,
are from the Tohoku catalog, right?
and then this will be an interesting example of books that are right that we haven't cited, like we haven't quoted them, but they appear in the bibliography, even though we're not quoting from them.
Yeah, and by the way, Nick, if we can update, if I can supply you all the latest books we've finished, and we could make another compendium of bibliography entries, that saved me an intense amount of time. It saved me 100 hours or something that I had all the old bibliographies. Okay.
Yeah, we'll start a new one this term.
Unfortunately, some of them are what do you call it?
Wrong.
Well, they were not done by me, and they're wrong, and they're all mixed up. So I'll give you the official. I got to be careful. I caught it, and I said, "Oh my God, some of these are wrong," and so we're gonna have to use it with care. But it still saves a huge amount of time. It still saves a huge amount of time. Okay, here's his Mikta Takpa. Look how long it is, Ben. It goes from line 1 to line 5 on the same page.
Those are lines. That's cool. I didn't know that.
This is Tohoku. Yeah. A means front side.
Yeah.
And 1 means long line in Tengu. Okay.
Got it.
Yeah. So there's all those. Here's a commentary on that by himself, an auto commentary. Okay. And here's his examination of the 3 times, which is a very sexy book. We should translate that someday. It's only a page.
That's all in that same section. Does this have you have Tohoku numbers there, or is this a part of a greater, is there one Tohoku number for the collection?
Yeah. When it says NO, that's a new Tohoku number.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can have the list. This is a very famous chart that he made of logical syllogisms. It's difficult to carve. And Rinpoche worked on that. Okay, here we go. Please continue. It's getting sexy, okay, you guys? It's gonna get exciting, more exciting. The gang looks really exciting, I can tell. By the way, Kat, thanks for the thing about Jerry. That's wonderful news. Yeah.
대략형 돌와 tabur gyurpe chiktu dupa tseme do kunle tupa tam mo she gongte choki lang poi chuk che puk che pe tak ngola do telgi.
Yeah. So Naga himself felt that all these books were too torwa. And this torwa is a verb that they use in the word miscellaneous, but it also means for a bomb to explode. And it means to be scattered all over the place. Okay. So he decided that his books were too spread out all over the place. So he decided to kunle tupa them.
Pile them, yeah.
Yeah, we call it the compendium. By the way, there's 2 famous compendiums, 3. You got to make sure you're in the right one.
Yeah.
The Abhidharma compendium is a Sangha. The Sutra compendium is either Atisha or Nagarjuna. And the compendium for Tsema is Dignaga, okay? So he decided Chiktadupa. He decided to put them all, he decided to write one masterwork, okay?
Cool. Okay,
To
good.
put them all together. Samo gong, he gonged. I'm gonna come.
He understood.
Yeah, he thought to himself, you
Yeah.
know, I should put them all together in one major work, okay?
Mhm.
So he went to a puk named Choki Longbo.
A cave apparently called
Yeah.
Dignaga.
Yeah. So, you know, oftentimes these caves get named from the shape of the mountain they're on or something.
Mm.
So maybe it looked like one of the sentinel elephants. And that seems to be how he got his name.
Oh,
Okay. He went to a cave at Dignaga Mountain.
yeah.
And okay. And on the side of the cave, okay, Chok Mun means on the, I should take out crag here. This
Okay.
Mun means side or on the surface of the cave. He wrote something with dotel,
Apparently it's chalk.
which chalk, yeah. He decided to start his famous classic on the side of the cave that he was meditating in. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Yeah.
By the way, here's the discussion of the 8 elephants in Monier Williams,
Oh, cool.
if you're interested. Okay.
Okay, great.
And let's try to finish this verse here.
Sweet. Tsamar gyupad drola penshepa tumba deshek kyopla chak te. Tsema drupchir rangi shunkunle tute naso tornam dirchikcha.
Yeah, and the first 2 lines here, we spend the winter debates, we spend a whole month on these 2 lines.
Yeah.
It's very, very, very famous. Okay. This book is so famous that it's named Semado.
I'm sorry, this note is so
Which means
famous.
what? No, this book.
Oh, the book. Okay, that it's called the Sutra on Accurate Perception.
Yeah, it's similar to Vinaya Sutra, which is not a
Sutra.
sutra. Okay. It's just a great book on Vinaya written by a non-Buddha. And so when you see Semado in Tibetan, you know they're talking about Dignaga's seminal work. You know, the compendium on, well, who's barking? Nick?
That was Drew letting us know that we're out of time.
That's all right. Nick, stop barking.
Come on. I'm going to translate this. We got 1 more minute, Nick.
Yeah.
Sema Gyurpa, there's one being in the universe who is totally Sema.
Yeah, he became correct.
Yeah, the Buddha.
Yeah.
And he likes to Pemba draw us.
He likes to work for the benefit of beings.
He's the Timba.
He's the teacher.
He's the Daishin Shekpa.
He's the guy who goes.
Well, he's the Kyop of all living beings.
He's the protector of all beings. I bow to him.
Yeah, I chant on him. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then to establish the science of logic, Semadru, and to collect together all the books I ever wrote, Rangdi Shun Kunle today. I'm going to take all my Natsal Torbos, all those scattered books,
Yeah.
and I'm going to Chikcha.
Chikcha, like unify them.
Good, exactly. I'm going to put them into one, okay? Now, we're going to stop there, but I gotta tell you guys, something magical happens to this chalk. Okay, and you have to tune in next time.
I'll try to translate it.
Okay, it's hard.
Well, then I'll do it wrong.
By the way, here's a bunch of commentary.
It's
There's a
okay.
bunch of commentaries on that, by the way. I
Okay.
gave you a bunch of commentaries on that famous lines, just for fun. You don't have to translate them. Gyaltsen J wrote a commentary. But if you have time to get to the page of commentaries, yeah, you could take a shot at this one, okay?
Okay.
You could take a shot, okay?
Yeah, sure.
And it's hard.
Okay. Thanks for the notes.
Okay.
I'm very happy to be told absolutely not.
But I'll give you something even better.
Uh-oh.
Start it from here. I'll put some dollar signs. Sorry, those number signs, okay? Try this sentence, because this is the crucial one. And you don't have any help from me here.
Okay. Okay. All right. So from Lopun down.
Yeah, and if you don't have enough time, stop at these dollar signs. If you have more time, go down to here and you'll have a lot of fun.
Okay. And I'm not going to stress too much about, I don't know what happened in between.
No, don't worry about it. Yeah.
Okay.
You don't need it. You don't
Okay.
need it.
For the sake of our
All you need
discussion,
to know-
I'm going to imagine this was what happens next.
Okay, yeah, good.
Okay.
It's very cute and very fun. If you can figure it out, you'll be laughing. Ezra will be happy.
Can I ask a technical thing that involves Tim, if you're nearby, about
Yep.
we have gone back and forth about whether or not it's really nice for us to have our cameras on, and I think it's healthy for us. And also, is it my computer, or are we impacting Geshe-la's internet speed? And
No, it's not impacting him. I was going to ask him to restart his computer in the break, because there
Okay.
might be a little.
Okay.
Oh, I haven't had any problems, but I'm happy to start it, Tim, if you want me to.
I think we're having a hard time hearing you. You're pretty choppy from our side, or
Oh.
at least mine.
Is
It
that
was.
better? Does that sound good?
There were a couple
I just
times
turned up
where
my
your internet was breaking up, Dan.
It seemed like it was
Oh.
lag, if it's possible, but we got through it all. I'm very happy with the class.
Okay,
But yeah,
I'll restart my computer, okay?
good idea. Thank you, boss.
Okay.
Amazing class.
See you
I'm so
later.
excited. Oh, it's just delightful.